Well, this drawing here is being done in imperial units in feet and inches. Let's just pick information and distance, and we'll measure from one side of the site to the other. It's some 300 feet in width. But what we're interested in here, this is just a preliminary site layout. What we're interested in doing is just a quick test print of the site layout itself. And to do that, the best approach is to go File and Print, and set up access to your printer. I don't have access to an American size printer here, and what I've done is set Qt PDF Writer as my default printer. But if you were working in the US, you would have paper that's about 8.5 inches by 10.5 or 11 inches as your default. So we'll pick Change for the moment and just reinforce that. So if I click here on the down arrow, you can see I can choose any size paper that I want, but the standard in most simple, straightforward printers in operation in the US would be 8.5 by 10 inches. So we'll set that. So okay, so it sounds a little complicated, but in a sense I'm mimicking here a conventional small printer attached to a personal computer. And I've picked the window option, and I'll pick, and what I'll do is set, I'll do that again, I'll set a box completely outside the area of interest. So I'm setting a box, I'm saying I want to print whatever's inside that zone, and I can preview that. So on a sheet of paper in landscape view that's 8.5 inches by 11.5 inches, I get a preview of what I'm going to see when I plot. And I'll hit escape because I don't actually need to do that for the moment. So you don't even need to print, but to just do that, pick an area and then do a preliminary check print will give you some guide as to how things are going. When this site was laid out, we set up an area on a particular layer, and I'll go to Layers and Layer Order, and I set up a layer called L-Dimensions. And I've turned it off at the moment, but I want to turn it back on. And I'll close the little layer order box, and I'll just zoom in here. Let's imagine that in the center of the plot, I'll move this tree. There was quite a large tree, and what I've done here is set up some arcs. I've done some triangulation. In other words, to locate this particular point here and to locate that point there, I've swung a series of arcs. This arc and this arc are centered at the center of the tree there, whereas the other arcs center on adjoining points. So in that way, I can accurately place these 2 points as the intersection of the arc. That system is known as triangulation, and I've applied a dimensions. Now, dimensions come from the model. So if I've measured along here as I would have done in my mud map, I know that's 31 feet there. Here's another length, and just to check my laying out, I can go Draw and Dim and an Align dimension, starting at that point there and ending at that point there and pulling it away. You can see that's 82 feet through there. The reason that that's appeared white and this is yellow is that that dimension, which we can select and go to Properties, is on layer 0. So I can just change it to the dimensions layer and it will go back to yellow. So I hope that gives you some idea of some of the things you need to think about when you are laying out a site using feet and inches and using some dimensioning and using some triangulation to get things accurately located. Some people, of course, zoom in on their site using Google Earth and copy the picture, which is accurate enough, and then just trace over their aerial photograph essentially of their site. It depends on the level of accuracy that you require as to the level of detail you go to.